Alright guys, I finally got all the parts I needed for these hubs. So we're gonna get on to the project of swapping these out. This has that ADD system. So I'm just curious if they got the same bolt pattern. And later we'll go in. I got all new gaskets for this, so I'll put those on. Just kind of wanted to get started before I get too excited, make sure these are gonna fit. I was also missing some of let me find them here. I was missing some of I don't know if they can show up, but they're kind of a certain type of washer that goes into the hub for the bolt. So I got those. I had to order some of those. Let's take this off, see what the bolt pattern is like.
And is that all you got?
So, let's see, we gotta go get, I'm gonna get some wrenches and I'll be right back. Alright, got this set up. Let's remove these and see how this looks inside. I've never actually looked inside of one of these ADD systems. Well, one thing I learned is I didn't have to order more of these. The ADD system has them as well. They're kind of those, they're not going to show up, but they're those angled, kind of a washer. So, didn't need those parts. I have extras. These are a 12mm for anyone who cares. And that is not... So I'm gonna go see they seem to have two threaded bolts in here. I'm gonna go see if I have some threaded bolts that I can thread in and pop this off.
Wow.
Alright, so I got Chante here helping. And what was your question, Chante?
What the heck? I didn't know they made that into gold.
It's not gold. Here, Chante, I gotta put this over here.
Mom just gave me golf drops to start the video.
So I'm gonna see if this pops these off. Ooh, where did that go? Yeah, watch out. These things will really pop out. You really should have safety glasses, but heck if I can find them. I think that's off already. There we go.
So my question was, what was it again? Can you tell me to pause it? It won't interrupt the video, I promise.
Okay. So it appears as though I'm gonna have to pop this cap. I wasn't thinking that I would have to. Alright, I'm going to try to move this in closer so you can kind of see what's happening. So I had to pop the cap, another bolt inside of there that I did not realize. So we're gonna take that bolt off. Now we should finally be able to get this off. All right, so this is what comes off. I'm not gonna put it on now because I want to grease it real well. I got to put the gaskets that go between here, and then I got a gasket that goes there. I'm just making sure. I want to just make sure these threads actually fit. Let's see. I guess it's got to line up with these pins. There's a pinhole. And there it'll be. And then we'll get them bolted on.
I'm trying not to cough. I'm trying not to cough. Dada.
And I'm told that this is the only thing that you have to do. If you have the automatic locking hubs, I'm told that there's an extra kit that you have to get that has some different size washers and whatever. But I don't believe that applies to this. If so, I will make a correction video. So, all right, we're gonna go in and I'll show you. I'll just put the washers on and continue. All right. So this is a gasket set that I got off of eBay, and these are the old gaskets. So looks to be the right thing. We'll take these out, put the new gasket in. Yes, Wombly. Now I have another helper. And this set came with these rubber gaskets. Wobbly, no. It came with these rubber gaskets, but I don't think I'm gonna. Yes, Wombly. I don't think I'm gonna go that far in advance or into it. So. I'm just gonna put some grease in there.
Go!
So I'm just going to do the same thing to the other hub, and then we'll go outside and continue from there. Alright, so I got the hub on there. Just trying to find all the washers and bolts that were on there. That's really all it should be to convert your ADV Toyota system over to a manual. Remember, I'm doing this just because I did a motor transmission swap and I never did get the other system back up and running. And I don't have that transmission anymore, and I think there's a part on there that I needed because it has all that automatic run by compressed air. So I don't have much battery left, so I'm gonna just finish this and I'll show you. All right, got the hubs on today. Pretty exciting. That's as far as I'm gonna get today. Tomorrow I'll run to Napa, get some hose clamps. I just need one actually, but what we're gonna do tomorrow is take this unit off, and then there's a gear in there that you gotta slide over to the side, put a hose clamp in there to lock it in to permanent not permanent four-wheel drive, but you just lock that part of the system in. So we'll do this tomorrow. We'll take it out, we'll test it, and see if I finally have four-wheel drive. Because I know once it starts snowing, if I don't have it, I won't even make it in and out of my driveway. So we'll continue this. We'll continue this tomorrow. All right, moving on to phase 2 of the four-wheel drive. We put the locking hubs in. So the second part of this, use a 12mm socket, and there's a front cover. I showed you that yesterday. And when I get the cover off, I'll show you the gear that we have to move. But there's that front cover where the air locker, moves and engages that four-wheel drive. So we're gonna take the cover off, figure out what size hose clamp we need. We'll go to the store, get the hose clamp, and I'll show you how and where I put that on. And then we'll give it a test, make sure that the four-wheel drive actually engages. I've been a year without four-wheel drive, so I know currently it doesn't work. I know that when I shift into four-wheel drive in the cab, I know it's turning that drive line that goes up to the four-wheel drive, but I know I don't have four-wheel drive, and it's that air system. But when I did that conversion, I'm missing some parts to get that up and working. So we're gonna bypass it. Just as a reminder, when you take the cover off that gear cover, there is oil in there, so get yourself a little container. I'm not going to reuse it, so I'm just going to dump it in an old container, and then once I get everything put back together, I'll add some brand new gear oil.
Alright.
So this is the actuator, and this is what engages your four-wheel drive unit. So basically, this is when it's locked out of four-wheel drive. That's when it's locked in four-wheel drive. So what I'm gonna do is place a hose clamp down here. Let's see if that fits. That should fit perfectly. That's not gonna be easy, but you put a hose clamp in here, permanently locking this into four-wheel drive. That way, if you want the four-wheel drive, you use your hubs, to lock them in and out. And you're supposed to get better gas mileage this way. A lot of benefits, actually. So, here we go.
Okay.
Just for your information, or just to help you out, I first started because I wanted to put the smallest clamp in there as possible. but then I was fighting I couldn't even get it started. So I got a kind of a medium length clamp to where I was able to hold one side and start it with a screwdriver. Much easier, should you find yourself wanting to do this. So here we have it, permanently locked in. I got my hose clamp in here. That's not going to go anywhere. That just keeps it from being able to engage and disengage. So we are fully engaged. And then this gear here, if you can get up in there and see, if the cat would get out of here, I could see. With the gear over this way, you're disengaged. So you want to move this gear over to this side. And that right there is engaged. So basically, and I'll do this off camera, I'm gonna clean all the surfaces up on the mating surfaces. I got new gasket material and get it all clean. And I suggest before you do that and put your gasket material on, and I'm gonna do the same thing, is I'm gonna test fit, dry fit this, make sure that it fits and that I know, how to work it in there prior to putting on my gasket material so I don't mess that up. So I will do that off camera, and then I'll show you back again when I got my gasket material and I'm putting it back together. All right, so you're able to peek from underneath to make sure you've got that arm in that gear. And to be able to get this to fit back in or take this in and out, it's extremely hard. You kind of got to jog it around, but it's easier to kind of remove it down through here, let it hang while you do all your work, put your gasket material on or whatever. So I got it in place. Now to get the bolts started, try to get one at a time. And I don't think we're started. No. Push that thing down. It doesn't really want to go. There we go. I think I got it. We'll see how that gasket material works too. I could not get, it's still leaking oil. Even though I've drained it, wiped it out, I can't really see where that oil is coming from, but it just keeps on leaking. And at this point, we'll go test it, but it should work. And I'm not going to disconnect any of the air lines. This is your sensor that goes up to the dash, lets you know you're in four-wheel drive. I'm going to just hook it all back up. None of it works anyway, but at some point I might, in my spare time, come remove it all. My only concern is to get the four-wheel drive working, because I can't even get in and out of the driveway in the winter with the snow. Or if I want to drive up to the back of the property, as soon as it even rains a little bit, I can't get up to the back of the property in two-wheel drive. And since I got that gasket material in, I'm not gonna squish it down quite yet. I'm just gonna do them up. You're supposed to do them hand tight, but I can't fit my hand in there, so we're just guesstimating on hand tight. Then we'll let that gasket material sit, come back and snug these down. And then this plug went here. And then there was one more that holds this air line. And that's it. We'll let the gasket material do its thing. That's not going to be the right size. We'll come back, snug it down, take it for a little bit of a test drive. All right, couple things to keep in mind. Don't forget to refill up your gear oil. I put some in through the drain hole because that's the only thing I could loosen. The other takes a 24mm socket, the plug where you fill up your drain oil. I don't have one. I don't want to strip it out, so I put a little bit in there. Now we're going to lock the hubs and go to a place where we can get into a spinny situation, see if it works. Down. So I'm having a hard time finding a place where this will spin. If I give it the gas, it'll spin here, so I'm going to try to test it and see what we got. That should be, we want 4 low. There, that should be 4 low. Whoa, there's no spinny action there. We have 4-wheel drive. Oh yeah, you can feel it in the front. Yeah, we got 4-wheel drive. So that's as easy as it is, guys. That's as easy as it is. Can't really give you a cost on it. It depends on what you get your hubs for. I went to Napa to look at hubs and it would have cost me about 170 bucks for some off-brand. So I went to a wrecking yard, got these for 35 bucks a part, or a piece. So, and then there was a gasket set thrown in there, and a hose clamp. So that's how you swap out your ADD system to a manual locking hub. So let's go. We're gonna go back here and check this out. There used to be that pickup bed that somebody was making into a trailer sitting back here, and an old timer supposedly, I came back here and showed him where it was, and supposedly took it out of here finally. He was gonna come last winter, but it's kind of hard to get back in here during the winter. So we'll see if he got it. Kind of shit back there, I think. Some sort of shit. Not mine. And it's gone. It used to sit right there in that dirt spot. So finally getting this cleaned out. I've got a couple more areas on this property where they've stored metal, just various metal shit. And so slowly but surely, I will pick out of pocket an area and get it clean. Some of these tree pockets in here too, like in here, for instance, I want to come in and thin out for the health of the trees and for fire. Because, I mean, as you can obviously see, you can't even walk through there. But I don't have any spare time. And if I did, I probably wouldn't use it doing that.